Donald Trump's 8-page plan is absolute gibberish. It is unworkable. Donald Trump's plan is forced deportation.
There's some ideas that have merit, but the majority of it is really not a workable plan that could ever pass Congress.
Surprise, surprise. The Trump immigration plan getting a lot of negative reviews from the Donald's competing presidential candidates on the Republican side, in part because Mr. Trump wants to put an end to birthright citizenship. Despite the criticism of the Trump plan, he has the support of one of the conservative movement's favorite senators, Jeff Sessions of Alabama. Senator Sessions had this to say, quote, "This is exactly the plan America needs. This plan reestablishes the principle that Americans' immigration laws should serve the interest of its own citizens." For more on this, we welcome the professor of law at Harvard Law School, Alan Dershowitz. Alan is also the author of The Case Against the Iran Deal. And joining us via telephone, the former Lieutenant Governor of New York, Betsy McCaughey. Alan, first to you. Do you have any legal difficulties with the Trump immigration plan vis-a-vis the 14th Amendment?
Well, obviously, our Constitution was written to give anybody who accidentally is born within our borders automatic citizenship. That's a kind of bizarre way of defining citizenship. It means that somebody from far-flung corners of the earth happens to be born while his mother or her mother is making a stopover in JFK Airport and never again returns to America, has no connection to America, is a citizen. It doesn't make a lot of sense logically, but it's in our Constitution, and it would be impossible to amend our Constitution to change that. So we're going to stick with that for better or worse. But
now wait a minute on that. Jacob Howard, Alan, Senator Jacob Howard, during the debate made it clear, but obviously in a reference suitable for that time, not talking about airplanes and JFK Airport, that people here temporarily were not subject to the jurisdiction thereof of our federal government. And moreover, when you read Section 5 of the amendment itself, it says the Congress shall have power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. Betsy, your take on this?
Well, first of all, I think it's a naive concept in this day and age with air travel, as Alan points out, that anybody who's born here, whether they sneak across the border or they happen to be visiting for the day, suddenly their child is a citizen of the United States. And let me point out that almost every industrialized, modern, civilized country in the world has abolished birthright citizenship for that reason, including Australia, France, England, countries with which we identify in many ways. Only the United States and Canada, of all the civilized, developed countries, still have it. So I think we should make a move to change this. Whether we need a constitutional amendment, I'm not sure we do, because the United States has only looked at this issue once, way back in 1898, and it didn't address the issue of illegal immigration. And when you achieve something via breaking the law, there's got to be a way to remedy that.
Now, Alan, it's curious. We're getting reports that in some parts of Texas, a county, at least one county, has stopped issuing birth certificates to the parents of some children born to illegal parents. I would imagine under current law that is illegal, is it not?
Oh, it certainly would be illegal. Look, anybody born in the United States, even if they're there for 15 minutes, not only is a citizen, but has the right to run for president of the United States. Whereas a person who came when he was or she was 6 months old and is one of the most loyal possible Americans, Madeleine Albright comes to mind, can't run for president of the United States. There's something quite bizarre about that, but history, the accidents of history are often quite bizarre. It is not the only amendment or the only part of our Constitution that if we had to do it again today, we would probably do it a little differently. Whether Congress has the power to change that through Article 5 is a very, very difficult question, and I doubt that Congress would do that. So I think this is getting a lot of attention, but the practical likelihood of it ever coming into fruition is very difficult. Now, I think the point about illegal immigrants, that's a little bit different, and it's possible to make a narrow exception, perhaps, to the 14th Amendment for people who were born here to parents who were here illegally. But that, too, would need either a constitutional amendment or a very narrow construction of the 14th Amendment.
Well,
Well, I
we're-
agree with Alan on that, and my comment is limited to that one narrow exception. I do not believe that people should be able to gain the enormous benefits bestowed by our Constitution by breaking the law.
And again, Section 5 spells out the Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. We're going to have you back to discuss this more, but there's something we need to talk about before we part company, Alan, concerning the Iran deal. Today, New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez came out against the agreement, saying he would vote to reject it. What does this mean for the administration? Could this end this proposed agreement?
Well, first of all, it shows that opposition to the deal is bipartisan, and it also puts the lie to people who have said that, only Jewish senators or congressmen who, quote, have dual loyalty are voting against this deal. The vast majority of Americans are, in fact, opposed to this deal. Interestingly enough, a higher percentage of non-Jews are opposed to the deal than Jews. So the crazy concept of dual loyalty should be put in the trash bin of history.
And on that point, we will have to call this to a close. Alan Dershowitz, Betsy McCaughey, you both have our thanks. Now, the cap that Donald Trump's been wearing on the campaign trail, blazing out his Make America Great Again slogan, has become a sensation, and you can get your very own Make America Great Again cap, a $25 value, free with this offer. Just pay shipping and handling. Go to newsmax.com/TrumpCap or call this number, 1-800-933-8396. That's a different number than what was previously promoted. Again, the number, 1-800-933-8396.